In this GlassTrax training video, I will be covering how to enter pricing in for your inventory items. The easiest way to do this is through Sales, scroll over to the Master Files section, go to Pricing, and the first option there is Item Pricing. Now I'm going to go ahead and walk you through this screen. I'm going to pull in a 1/4 inch glass, 1/4 inch clear, and this is my pricing that I'm going to walk you through. Now the way that GlassTrax works with pricing is we have 3 tiers of pricing. We have a customer specific price, a customer group price, or your general pricing. So customer specific pricing would be a specific price for one customer, or in other words, it's a unique price for the one customer that you're selling or quoting. A customer type price or customer group price is a price that a group of customers receives for the one item, and general pricing would be for anybody else. So the way that GlassTrax works is if I pull in, notice this is my general pricing that I'm looking at. If I put in ABC Glass in my customer ID here, it's going to go ahead and show just ABC Glass's price. So this is just their pricing. Nobody else has this pricing. It's only theirs. If I change this and I type in customer type A, these are a group of customers that belong to my A type of customer. This is their price. And then again, when I clear this out, you'll see my general price here. So as you're adding new records, you're going to click the N button to add a new record. Keep in mind that if you leave both of these fields blank, you're entering in a general pricing record. If you put in a customer ID, it's a customer specific record. And if you put in a customer type, it's a group of customers getting that rate on this particular item. And the way that GlassTrax will work is it'll work its way up the ladder with those tiers. So it'll go ahead and say, hey, for ABC Glass, 1/4 inch clear glass, do they have their own customer specific price? If so, it applies it. If not, it jumps up a level and says, okay, ABC Glass belongs to customer group or customer type A. Do customers within customer type A have their own price for 1/4 inch clear glass? If so, it applies it. If not, it knows, okay, there's no customer specific price record. There's no customer type price record. We're going to go ahead and apply the general price for this particular quote or order. So I'm going to go ahead and click Edit just to walk through the fields on here. Most of you will be using unit prices. In fact, I would say 99% of you use unit prices. The other options are markup or margin, which would give you the ability to say, based on my average cost or last cost, we have a 30% markup on this particular item. The nice thing about that is if your customer or if your vendor, raises the price on an item that you buy, your pricing will go up based on your 30% margin that you have calculated on here. The bad thing about using markups or margins is that the pricing will be dynamic. So a customer might get $2.05 a square foot one day, and then your vendor sells you some really expensive glass the next day, and the next time your customer calls in, it's no longer $2.05, it's now $2.30, and your customer is going to wonder why that price has changed so dramatically. And you can obviously explain, hey, my vendor raised the price, so I raised the price, but most customers won't appreciate that. So most of you will stick with unit prices right here. If you are not using either of these, markup or margins, you can completely ignore this right side. If you are using these, this is just basically asking what costs you want to base your markup or margin on. The base price factor is how you charge. Now, if this is with hardware, you would have this be pieces. If you're using the metric system, you can charge by the square meter right here, or you can do square foot, which is what most of you will be using for glass. The break factor is what you would consider a discount price. So discounts when they get kicked in. Some of you say, hey, if they go over 50 square feet, then the price goes down 5 cents a square foot. That's what I've got right here, right? So you always start with 0 on line 1, and then you go ahead and put in your pricing, and then if any discount after they go over a certain amount of square footage or a certain amount of pieces, then your price goes down, or however you'd like to do that. You can give up to 10 different discount levels. Now I have my features set to show an outside, center, inside, cut piece, and stock sheet. That is because I like to have my GlassTrax database set up as if I were an IG manufacturer or a LAMI manufacturer. If you do not do IG or you do not do LAMI, then you're going to want to change the feature 2802. And I'll go ahead and show you that, how I have that set up. 2802. So I currently have set to yes, enable outside, center, inside functionality, and yes, use newer pricing logic. That allows me to have column A be my outside, column B be my center, column C be my inside, column D be a cut size monolithic, and column E be a stock sheet of glass. So it allows you to have different pricing depending on the type of glass that you're selling. If you are not an IG producer or a LAMI producer, you can go ahead and say no, do not use outside, center, inside functionality. But if you want to have 2 different prices for the same item for the same customer, like for example, I charge $2 for a cut size monolithic, but for a stock sheet, I'd lower that price to $1.80. you would want to check this first box right here that says column A equals standard price, column B is your non-standard size price. But most of you who do IG or Lammies will keep it just as I have set up right here. So the way that this works now is if I have, I'm going to pull in Benny's glass right here. Let me pull in that same item. And you can see here, this is their customer specific pricing. If I build an IG unit for Benny's glass, I put $1.95 right here on the outside, $2.05 on the center, $1.95 on the inside, and then those would get added. Obviously, it'd be $1.95 plus $1.95 if I'm building a double IG. And then here's my cut piece monolithic, and then here's my stock sheet. So let me show you how that looks within a sales order or quote. I'm going to go ahead and pull this over to the side, and I'm going to go start a quote or order for this customer, Benny's Glass and Door. So I'm going to go ahead and do order, and I'm going to go ahead and come over here, and I'm going to go ahead and say ABC. So I'm going to go ahead and say, all right, or Benny's, excuse me, Benny. All right, once I've got that filled out, I'm going to go ahead and come in here and say, all right, we've got this particular item, which is 1/4 inch clear. And now if I put it on outside and the inside, it should be $1.95 plus $1.95, which we will see once I define my dimensions here. So $1.95 plus $1.95 is $3.90 a square foot. That's correct. Now if I go ahead and say, hey, it's actually just a single monolithic piece, should change to, this is a stock sheet, $48.96. If I change this to $48.48, you should see this jump up to that $1.90. And there it is, the $1.90. So the way that you can do this is you can set up your stock sheets, by the way, in the inventory control master files item screen. You pull in the item, and then at the bottom there's a stock sheets button where you can go ahead and click on that and define any stock sheet sizes. So GlassTrax is smart enough to recognize that I have $48.96 as a standard size or a stock sheet size, and that gets the $1.75. If I change this to a random cut size right here, it goes to $1.90 right here like I have. And if it's in an IG, I had it set to $1.95 over $1.95, and you saw that price calculate there as well. So that's how the pricing works within GlassTrax. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can also import pricing through a spreadsheet, which is what we do upon data conversion for new customers of ours. But you can also use this for a mass updating of price. We can also, or mass import of new products that you're beginning to carry. If you would like to do a price increase on a whole category of glass or a whole category of inventory or all of your inventory, please see my price cost utility video also on this channel.